Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 7, Episode 1. The episode starts off with Danny dreaming that she's being kidnapped, and when she wakes up, Tony's like, baby, what's wrong? She's like, I just had a dream. Tony's like, you've been having those dreams for 3 months, and they're not good. I think you should talk to somebody. Danny's like, no, I've just been watching too much true crime before I go to sleep. Tony's like, that may be true, but there's something else wrong. These dreams might have something to do with your subconscious, and they might be telling you something. Tony's like, therapy is just not for crazy people. It's there for you to talk if you have depression, anxiety, relationship problems, and other things. Danny's like, how do you know so much about therapy? Tony's like, I've been in therapy after my divorce. Then over at Andy's penthouse, we see her cooking. I'm like, oh, it's gonna snow outside. She cooking? We have never seen Andy cook the entire time she was on the show. While she's cooking, Jordan walks in the room, the new casted Jordan. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what y'all did there. Y'all tried to outviv us. Andy and Jordan are all lovey-dovey, and Andy's cooking. Mind you, Andy's cooking because they're supposed to have guests over. Turns out the guests are Gary and Penelope. Gary and Penelope walking like they're the happiest couple on earth. And I'm like, girl, Penelope, you should have been left him after what you found out. Andy tries to offer them hors d'oeuvres, and Penelope and Gary said, no, we'll just wait till later. Andy's like, I got bacon wrapped tenderloin. Gary's like, you made this? Andy's like, yeah. Gary's like, I didn't know you were such a pleasant host. Jordan tries to offer Gary some wine that him and Andy got off the vineyard, and Gary's looking at him like, I don't gotta do nothing but stay black and die. And Penelope's like, Gary. Jordan offers Penelope some sparkling wine, and he asks Gary, does he want some after Gary said no to the wine, right? Gary's like, yeah, I'll take some. I'm carrying precious cargo tonight. And Jordan, you wouldn't want nothing to happen to your future niece or nephew or your sister, would you? Jordan gets upset by that. I'm like, Gary, you're foreshadowing what's going to happen to Penelope later in the season. Gary starts taking jabs at Jordan about how much money he makes and how he's richer than Jordan. And Andy throws jabs back at Gary like, Jordan brings out the best in me in more ways than one. And you can tell that definitely got under Gary's skin. We see Karen at the new salon, and she's trying to prepare for her grand opening. And Pam is on Instagram talking to her followers because since Pam didn't have a job, I guess she turned into an influencer. And Karen tells her to get off the phone because she's like, you got work to do. Pam is like, yeah, I know, but where's Brian? Karen's like, Brian left because he had problems with his wife and he wanted to go fix his marriage. And I'm like, Karen, you're probably the main reason he had problems. You know that man was feeling you, and Josie the realtor probably went back and told his wife that he had you in his car and that created problems for his marriage. Over at Zach and Fatima's, we see Zach on the phone talking to somebody, and he's pacing the floor. It seems like he's talking to a caseworker because he's like, can you tell Michael that we left him? After Zach gets off the phone, Fatima's like, what did they say? Zach is like, well, Michael is adjusting to his new foster family. It turns out that Michael is in a foster home because Heather called the police on Zach for trying to protect Michael after he found Michael tied up in the tub at Heather's house. Heather called the police and said that Zach kidnapped him after Zach took him out the house and drove off. Zach tells Fatima that my son shouldn't be with a foster family. He should be here with us. And Fatima's like, look, I want him to be here as much as you do. And Zach is like, how long does it take to prove that a mother is unfit? And Fatima's like, well, the hearing is in 4 days. We'll hear something then. Zach is like, when you become a lawyer, I hope you do something to change that. Then we see Sabrina sitting up in her new office, and she calls Maurice to check on him to see how he's doing. He says, I'm doing good. I'm still working on my OnlyFans stuff. And Sabrina's like, where's Calvin? Maurice is like, girl, I didn't tell you Calvin moved away to Florida with some white girl. Sabrina's like, he didn't even bother to say bye. Maurice is like, he wanted to say bye to you, but if he did, he knew you would stay. Sabrina gets all in her feelings about it. Maurice had to let her know, like, girl, he had every right to leave. He's not entitled to you, and you're not entitled to him. You didn't want him, so he had every right to move on with his life, and you found somebody that accepts him in all of it. Sabrina's like, she even accepts him for his panties and vibrators? He's like, yeah. Sabrina told Maurice that she had to go because her boyfriend Rich was standing in the door with some flowers. Back over at Danny's house, Tony and Danny are still talking about the therapy thing, and Danny's like, since you go to therapy, what do you talk about? Do you talk about your ex-wife? He's like, sometimes. Do you talk about me? Tony's like, that's confidential. Tony's like, well, you at least think about going to therapy. Danny's like, yeah, I'll think about it. But you know you're a psychopath, right? Tony notices that Danny starts to deflect, and he calls her out on it. And I'm like, thank you. Finally somebody called her out on it. They start having the great debate of butter and salt and sugar. And Tony's like, I like butter and salt. Danny's like, you're really a psychopath. Back over at Karen's salon, Pam yells at Karen for carrying all these heavy boxes, and she's like, why don't you call one of your baby daddies to do it? Pam is like, you know, if you call Aaron, he'll be over here in a heartbeat. Karen's like, yeah, no, I don't want that problem no more. Aaron needs to find him a good woman that's on his level, and that's just not me anymore. Karen's like, I don't even know why you brought up Zach. Pam is like, that is your baby daddy, ain't it? Karen's like, yeah, I still don't want him in my salon though. And you know, Fatima's jealous, and she'll break every bone in his body. Zach is not my problem anymore. That's Fatima's problem. And I'm like, Karen, Zach lives in your head rent free, whether you want to admit it or not. Cause why did you go on a whole tangent about this man when Pam just asked you a simple question? Back at the bank, Sabrina goes, Rich, what are you doing here? I came to see you, beautiful, and is there any way to greet your man? Sabrina's like, stop, because she doesn't know how to accept the compliment. And Rich is like, I'm gonna have to do something to fix that, because you definitely are gorgeous. He's like, I actually stopped by because I knew you'd be working late. Rich is like, you shouldn't be working late anyway, trying to impress the bosses when they should be impressing you and rolling out the red carpet for you after they tried to fire you over something that you didn't do. And Sabrina's like, let's not talk about that. I'm happy that I got my job back. It turns out that she called corporate, and corporate accommodated her because she told them that she didn't want to work downtown and she wanted her old job back. She's like, I'm happy that I have my friends and I have this man that I'm addicted to. And Rich is like, who's the man you're talking about? She's like, you. He's like, show me how addicted you are. And then they start getting down to business on the desk. And I'm like, Sabrina, you just got your job back and you trying to get fired already? Sabrina notices the same thing. So Rich is like, how about my car? And Sabrina's like, you can't be serious. Rich is like, yes, I am. I parked in the back. Sabrina's like, well, since white girls can have fun, I can have fun too. And Rich is like, what are you talking about? I only date black girls. Sabrina is still thinking about Calvin when she has a whole new man. Like, why do you care? As they're getting down, Sabrina gets a call from Tony, and he's like, can you come talk to Danny? I really want her to go to therapy because she keeps having these nightmares. Sabrina's like, okay, I'll be right over. Karen and Pam are talking at the salon, and Pam is like, Zach needs to know at least one of his baby mamas is getting to the bag. And Karen's like, I honestly don't care what Zach is happy about. I don't even want him in my salon. The only way that he could come up in here is if Fatima's getting her edges fixed and Zach gets a proper lineup. Karen, girl, you're the last person to be talking about somebody's head. Have you seen your wigs in the past? And even the wig you got on, it's not that. Fatima's hair looks better than you each and every time, so I advise you to be quiet. Then Pam starts talking about this new business venture that she has and how it's gonna make the salon rich. And because Karen's like, I just want to make enough so that I can pay my bills. Karen's like, so what's his business venture? Pam is like, I can't tell you yet, but just know it'll make us rich. Pam asks Karen to go out with her. Karen says no because she's going home to cuddle with her baby because nobody wants to date a pregnant lady. Pam is like, you're pregnant, not dead. Back over at the penthouse, Andy and Jordan are talking with Penelope and Gary. And Gary's like, what did you call us over here? Andy's like, I didn't call you for any malicious intent. Jordan actually missed his sister, and I was hoping that we could hash out any old tensions. And Gary's like, the tension that you caused between me and my unborn child's mother, the one that you decided to give all this information to? Andy's like, no, I was just informing her with the decision that she made. Gary's like, you see the decision that she made, right? She chose me over you, so what does that mean? Gary, you really shouldn't even be mad at Andy. You should be mad at Danny, because none of this would have happened if Danny didn't open her mouth. And also, you should be mad at Penelope because Penelope was the one that confronted Andy. As they're talking, Andy's phone starts to ring. Over at Zach and Fatima's receipt, Fatima and Zach call Andy to see what they can do to rush the process of getting Michael because Zach feels like he's not doing enough. So Zach says, why don't we hire a private investigator to set Heather up so she can do something shady so that the process could be rushed faster. Andy tells him, well, if you do that, you'll be charged with harassment and it won't look good on you, so let's just wait until the hearing to see what the arbitrator says. And Zach says, well, that's not enough for me, but I guess I gotta do it that way. After Andy hangs up the phone with Zach and Fatima, she goes back into the room where everybody's sitting, and she's like, where were we? Andy's like, let's clear the air. And Gary's like, yeah, let's clear the air. But sitting next to Penelope, so he bumps her arm really hard, and Andy's like, are you okay? Andy's like, it's no secret that our relationship didn't end on so good terms. But she can admit that she's not harboring any bad feelings, and it's water under the bridge because she met her partner, Jordan, and he's her equal, and she's not with someone who will use and abuse her. And he went on to say how Jordan makes her feel all these different feelings, and Jordan's like, if everything goes well, she'll be the next first lady. And Penelope's like, wait a minute, you just announced your city council bid, now you're talking about being the mayor? Hold up a minute. Gary's like, I know you can do it, and I can see a lot in your future. So Gary decides to take it upon himself to donate $100,000 to Jordan's campaign, and Andy's reluctant for him to take the money because she already knows what type of person that Gary is, and to how his gifts come with attachments. But Penelope's like, if you want us to get back on better terms, you need to convince Jordan to take the money. And I'm like, Penelope, you just don't know what your brother got himself into. After their conversation, Gary says that he has to use the bathroom. Andy tries to tell him where the bathroom is, and he's like, I already know, I bought the place. We're at Danny's house. We see Danny waiting on Tony to come out the bathroom because she thought that he was stuck in the bathroom from eating some bad food, but it came out that he was in the bathroom calling Sabrina about the therapy and the nightmares. Danny was waiting on him to come out the bathroom so they could get down to business, but Tony came out the bathroom fully clothed because he said he had to run some errands. Tony's like, you could keep the bed warm for me though, and that's when Sabrina walks in and Danny's like, what are you doing here? Sabrina's like, I came to talk to you about therapy and nightmares because Tony called me. We see Zach and Fatima talking, and Zach is like, how are you calm with all this? Fatima's like, I meditate and you should try it, because if I didn't meditate I would have at least a couple murder charges by now. And Zach is like, I want to try something else that'll keep my mind off of it. They're about to get down to business, and Fatima goes upstairs, and Zach is like downstairs looking at his phone. He's like, Mikey, you'll be home soon. Daddy loves you. Back at the penthouse, we see Penelope talking to Andy and Jordan, and she's telling them a family story about how Jordan climbed a pecan tree at their big mama's house, and he fell and broke his arm, and Penelope's like, don't let his good looks fool you. He's actually the devil. Andy's like, speaking of the devil, where's Gary? Penelope's like, I don't know. I'll go check on him because Gary's still in the bathroom. Gary's not even in the bathroom anymore. He's in Andy's closet snooping around, just talking a whole bunch of stuff about Jordan and Andy and how Andy is wrong for bringing Jordan to the house that Gary bought her. And as he's snooping around, he comes across Andy's underwear drawer, so he opens the drawer and picks out a pair of panties and starts sniffing. Gary has really went off the deep end and turned into a different type of creep. While Penelope went to go check on Gary, Andy and Jordan are sitting out there talking, and she's like, you know I don't want you to take Gary's money, right? Jordan's like, why? And Andy's like, his gifts come with attachments, and Jordan's like, well, he knows that I can't be bought. Andy's looking at him like, does he really though? Penelope finally makes it to where Gary is to check on him, and she finds him in the closet, pleasuring himself while sniffing Andy's panties. And I'm like, Gary, you are a different type of delusional. This season has started off with a bang. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Bye!